All right, we're holding daf mem gimel amud aleph, the top Mishnah. Hamafkid mois eitzel shachani. So the Mishnah says this: Hamafkid mois eitzel shachani. In the case of a person who deposited money with a money changer, so he goes to a money changer and he gives him money.
A banker.
A banker, yeah, hold this bag for me. So the halacha says this: if the money is tied up, it's bound. So then leishtamish behen. The money changer is not allowed to use it because since it's bound, he has to leave it as is, and therefore the figachem avdu. Therefore, if it's lost, if it's lost, he does not need to bear responsibility for it. Now, mutarin, if the money was unbound, in other words, it wasn't tied, then yishtamish behen, the money changer could use the money. The figure, therefore, if it gets lost, he's chayiv for responsibility. Now, eitzel balabayis, if
For Ashamachinam, or it's a banker that he uses the money, but that's all.
that's what he gains, right? Right, he's able to use the money. Now, eitzel balabayis, if this guy deposited money with a balabas, not a banker, so bein student, bein mutarim, it doesn't matter if it's bound or whether it's unbound. He's not allowed to use it. Therefore, if the balabas lost the money, he's not bear responsibility with it. And the Gemara is going to explain what this means. Now, so until now we spoke about either a money changer, a banker, or a balabas. Halacha is chenaveni kabalabais. Halacha is that a chenaveni, a storekeeper, if a shemer is a storekeeper, so he has a status like a balabas, like a homeowner, dividev meir. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Chenaveni kishulchani. The storekeeper has the status of a money changer. Okay, so now the Gemara says like this: Mishum detzruden lo yishtamish behen. Now the Gemara asks, why is it that due to the fact that the money is bound, the money changer may not use it? People usually typically buy their money. So the fact that he's binding it, it's no indication that the kavana of the one who deposited the money that it's not to be used. Just because he bound it doesn't mean he cares if the shochani could use it or not. So I want to ask him, it's talking about a case where the money is bound and sealed. In other words, there's a clear indication that he does not want the bundle to be open, and that's the case that the Mishnah is talking about. Ramari says, "Bekesher mishuna." It's a case where the money is bound with a different type of knot, which the fact that he made this knot indicates that he does not want the bundle to be open. Other people say that it went like this: "Bari kesher mishuna mai." What will be in the case that it has a knot but a different type of knot? So the word is teku, basically volachumra, and he's not. You should not use it. Now, the Mishnah taught also that if money is mutar and yishtamish b'eh, the money is unbound, so now the shulchani, the money changer, may use it, and therefore he, as a chayis, he bears responsibility if it's lost. Amrav, one says, v'afilun, and even if it was taken from him under circumstances beyond his control, so therefore he's going to be chayiv. But didn't it taught that the Mishnah it's lost? Which is mashma that only if the money was lost is he chayav b'achrayis, but not if it was taken by force. So the Gemara says, Rabba says, Nignavu. When it was saying Nignavu, when it says it was stolen, it's referring to a case that the item was stolen by who? Belistim Mizuyan, by armed bandits. Avdu, what does it mean they were lost? It's referring to a case, Shetawu Svinas Bayam, that the ship sunk at sea. Nachman says, Nan Sulay. If it was taken from him beyond circumstances, beyond his control, then he's not going to be chayiv. But Rabbi says to Rav Nachman that he doth Nan Sulay, according to your opinion, that if it was taken to him due to circumstances beyond his control, Alma loy have a shreil alayu. So apparently the money changer is not considered as a borrower with regards to money. Why? Because Ishayo lay have a shemer sachar namilay. So if he's not a borrower, so then he's not a shemer sachar. So why then does he bear responsibility for the money if it's lost? He should be like a shemer chinam, and the shemer chinam is pater. So Amrlei, the Nachman said to him, In this case, I agree that he is a shemer sachar. Because since he benefits from the money, it's so the benefit that the money changer derives based on the fact that if a profitable purchase would happen to present itself to him, he can now purchase it with the deposit of the money. So it's considered as a shemer sachar with regard to this money. Now, Rav Nachman, so Rav Nachman asked the Rav Nachman asked the Shad from the Mishnah, and the Mishnah says like this: Hamafkin Mois Eitzel Shachani, with regards to a gizbar, this is a temple, a treasure. I'm recording here. Yeah. Hamafkin Mois Eitzel Shachani, a person who, with regards to a gizbar, who deposits money with a money changer. So the halacha is like this: if the money is bound, the money changer may not use it. Therefore, if he spent the money, the gizbar is not chayiv for meila, because the money changer is chayiv. If the money was unbound, then the money changer may use it. Therefore, if the money changer spent the money, then the gizbar, the treasure, is chayiv for meila. Why? Because the shulchani is a shliach for the treasure. Now, where's Rav Nachman going on? Rav Nachman says like this: and if you say that even if the money was taken from the shulchani changer under circumstances beyond his control, so he bears achrayas for the money. So why did the Tana specifically teach that the gizbar bears responsibility for the money changer spent the money? Even if he did not spend the money, the treasurer should bear responsibility, since the gizbar gave him something which is unbound money, so it's like a halva. So the treasurer should be chayav for meila at the moment that he gave the tzreidin, the unbound money to the money changer. So Amalei, Ravuna said to him, the same halacha would apply even if he did not spend the money. And the gizbar is chayav from the moment he gives the money to the money changer. And by the Tani and since the Tana taught in the first case that the guy is chayiv if he spent the money, the Tana taught in the later case in the Mishnah as well, he spent the money, although he's chayiv even if he did not spend the money. Next Mishnah. With regards to one who misappropriated a deposit. So Bisham Imam Bisham says Yilka b'chosar b'yosar. Shama says he is penalized for its decrease and its increase. In other words, if the value of the pikadon decreases, so the shamer is chayiv to pay in accordance to the value at the time that he misappropriated. If it increases in value, he's chayiv to pay in accordance to the value at the time of repayment. Basil says kashas hitzo, in accordance with his value at the time of the removal. Rabbi Kiva says kashas hatzviya, it's at the time of the claim. Amar Rabba says, Hayman the gozel chavisa the chamre mechabre, in the case of this one who robbed another of a barrel of wine, where initially it was worth 1 dinar. Hashta shabi arba, and now it's worth 4 dinars. Tavra ishasya. So if the robber broke the barrel during the wine, Mishalim arba, he has to pay 4 dinars. Itvar memela, if it broke itself, then Mishalim zuz, he pays a zuz. My time, what's the reason? What's the difference? Kivan the since if the barrel were intact, if he returned it to its owner, its original state, and there would be no need to calculate its price, called gozel minei. So the moment, so since if the barrel was still intact, if he returned to its owner in its original state, and there would be no need to calculate its price, so that moment that he drank it or he broke it, at that moment that he stole is the moment that he stole it from the owner of the wine. Utanana, we learned in the Mishnah of Bava Metziah, all robbers pay in accordance with the value of the stolen item at the time of the robbery. So here it's going to be 4 dinars. It's from Mamela Mishalim Zuzah, but if the barrel broke by itself, he pays only a zuz. My time, what's the reason? Hash to the obed lei v'lei midi. Because if the barrel broke by itself, why? Because he did not do anything to the barrel now. So why did he make him chayiv to pay more? Hayishayt the gazle, because of the moment that he robbed from the other person. Hayishayt at the moment that he robbed the other person of it, it was worth only a dinner. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah,
you've been hiding biyatir, up and down is against him. Moshe.
No, so if he did something to it, so then he has to pay at how much it's worth now, because if it would still be intact and now he gives it back, now it'll be worth 4. But in the case of the Hamela, because at the time that he robbed it, it was only worth a dinner, and he didn't do anything to make him. He didn't change anything. Today we learned in the Mishnah, Basil says if one misappropriated the pikadon, pays in accordance with his value at the time of the removal. So what is the meaning of in accordance with the value at the time of the removal? If we say means according with its value at the time of the removal from the world, when he drank the wine or broke the barrel, so it's a shaila, over mine. With regards to what case is referring to, if it's regarding the case where there was a decrease in value for its removal, my ikalaman da'omar. Is there anyone who says that the shamer pays the lower price? But not you have to pay in accordance with the time that you stole it, and there's no haba minute to think that I have to pay less. Be yasser, and if it's talking about a case where there was an increase in value before its removal, and a bishama, this is mamish the same case of bishama, as one who misappropriates a pikadon always pays the higher value, not the opinion of Beis Hillel.
Answer from light.
So the Gemara says, rather it's obvious that Beis Hillel holds that the shamer pays in accordance with his value at the time of its removal from the Balabas's house. In other words, at the time that he was male. Now, so the Gemara says, so we see that Rabba holds it Bishamai, not like Beis Hillel. Well, Rabba will tell you, with regards to that case, where it increases in the value, everyone agrees. In other words, Bisham and Beis Hillel both agree that the shemer pays in accordance with the value when the Bikada was destroyed. When they disagree, it's in a case where it decreased in the value of the Bikada that he misappropriated. Bisham holds Shluchas Yad and Yisrichas Chesarn. Shammai holds that the misappropriation does not require loss, and even if the deposit remains intact, his status is that of a robber from the moment that he was Shalech Yad. Therefore, when the value decreases, it decreases in his possession. Therefore, he pays in accordance with the value at the time that he was Chaser Yad. But still holds no. He holds that a shlichas yad requires loss, and only when the deposit decreases in value after he was misappropriated is the shemer chayiv to pay. And therefore, when the value decreases, it decreases in the possession of the owner. Therefore, he pays in accordance with the value at the time that it was damaged. And it's shlichas, but this that now comes out, this that Rava says that shlichas yad does not require loss. Which comes out that Rava is going to say according to Bishamai, which is not the case. What are we talking about over here? Talking about a case where the shem removed the barrel to stand upon it and bring like these birds from a nest in a tree. And they disagree with regards to one who borrows an item without the knowledge of the owner. Bishamai holds that Shammai holds that one who borrows an item without the knowledge of the owner is a robber in terms of responsibility, and therefore when the value of the thing decreases, decreases in his possession, so he pays in accordance to the value of the time that he borrowed the barrel. Basil says he holds that one who borrows without the knowledge of the owner is that of a borrower. and only when the barrel is broken is the shemer chayiv to pay. And therefore, when the value of the barrel decreases, decreases in the possession of its owner. So he pays in accordance with the barrel's value at the time that it was damaged. According, he says that one who borrows an item without the knowledge of the owner, you can't say that. Rather, you must say, we're saying that the machlekes is with regards to an enhancement of a stolen property to disagree. What does that mean? Bishami holds that when you have an enhancement of stolen property belonging to the one who robbed it, Basil holds Shevach Zela de Gazlan Habe. One who the enhancement of a stolen property belongs to the robber. And they disagree with the Machlekes Tanoim. The Tanya, we learned in our Brisa. Hagezel Zarocho, with regards to one who robs another of he robs another of a new. Zazav Yoda Mishal Mesa B'Siseb Esfal Desel. Now, if he sheared it, in other words, he cut it or it gave birth, the robber pays the owner for it and for its fleece or for its offsprings. The Emer says the stolen property returns to the owner in its current state. Mar says the economy. The Mishnah is also precise. Bishame says he's given a knas for his decrease and its increase. Basil says kashas ha heitzah, according at the time of the removal. So, according to the opinion of Bishame, the Mishnah does not state he's given the knas for its rise and fall in value. Mr. Shmamina, you can learn from the wording of the Mishnah that they disagree with regards to the fleece and the if it has a child. Rabbi Kiva says he pays in accordance to the value of the time of the claim. Rabbi Yehuda says the name of Shmuel. The halacha is in accordance with Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva will agree in a case where there are witnesses to the shlichas yad. In that case, the payment is calculated in accordance with the value of the bikodan at the time that he was shliach yad. My time. What's the reason? The Torah says to whom he is given on the day of his being guilty, which means and in this case, since there are witnesses to the exela, to the robbery, from the moment who the ashma, at that moment he's chayav to pay him for his guilt. In other words, he's looked at guilty at the moment the Edom saw the shtichas yad of the pikadon. Oh, the Nevad Rabbi Yehuda. So Mishnah tells Rabbi Yehuda, Rebbe, which means my teacher. Ata Imre Kain, Yitaka say this. Hocham Rabbasim Rabbi Echlan, he said that Rabbasim says that Rabbi Echlan says that Cholokoy Rabbi Kiva Fid Makom Sheish Edom. Rabbi Kiva was in its disagreement even in the case where there are witnesses to the shlichas yad. My time. What's the reason of Rabbi Kiva? The Amar Kra, the pasuk says La Asher Hu Lo Yitnana B'Yem Hashamasei, to whom it is given to on the day of his being guilty. And the Beis Din, in other words, not the actual Edim, that renders him chayav to pay for his guilt. So he says, when you go to Eretz Yisrael, take a ladder, in other words, take a roundabout way to the ladder of Tzur. And enter, go to this individual Rabbi Kiva Bar Idi. Ask him if the halacha is Rabbi Kiva or not. Halacha is in accordance to Rabbi Kiva forever. What does it mean always? Which means, don't say that this statement applies only in the case where there are no witnesses. But in the case where there are witnesses, no. In other words, the payment is calculated in accordance with the value of the pikadon when they witness the actual shlichas yad. V'nami, or you could say the halacha will not be in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Kiva. The hadli l'duchta v'itaver lapukim b'Rabbi Shmuel. In case where you broke the barrel to this place and it broke. In other words, Rabbi Yechon stated that the halacha is always in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Kiva. To exclude Rabbi Shmuel, to exclude the opinion of Rabbi Shmuel, the Amar Le'bein das Bailim. He says that if one stole from another and returned it, we do not require the knowledge of the owners for the item to be considered returned. Well, Ashulam, therefore, Rabbi Yechon teaches us that Le'bein das Bailim, that we require the knowledge of the owners. And according to the Rabbi Akiva, Rav Amar, the Rabbi says, no, Allah is like Bisil.
So if somebody owns something to go just in this and made it a shoyal, what it is not being does, and then
correct. If something happens, it's going to name him. So there's different halachas. There's tefillin or right, because the person wanted to. So svarim, for example, doesn't work. Right. Okay, we have let's finish the perek. All right, next Mishnah. The Mishnah says, "Hachesher l'shleich yabe bikoden." Person who intends to misappropriate a deposit, and he voices that kavana in the presence of witnesses. In other words, not only does he do it, but he actually tells witnesses, "I intend to misappropriate this deposit." Shama Imrim, but Shama says it's chayiv. So Imrim still says, "In a chayiv at shishtal b'yad." It's only chayiv. Pay for the damage at the point, from that point forward. In other words, he actually has to do something. Shneimah says, whether he has misappropriated his neighbor's goods. Now, if he tilted the deposit, the pikodon, barrel, and took from it a quarter lug wine for his own use, and then what happened, and the barrel broke, and in Mishal Revis, he only has to pay for a Revis. If he lifted the barrel and took from it a quarter lug of wine, and then the barrel broke, since he was cleaning the barrel by lifting it, Mishal to make kula, he has to pay the value of the entire barrel. From where do you know this? In other words, now one is chayav to pay for kavana of misappropriating the pikadon. So he says like this: the Tanakh bought it within a brayso. I'll call dvar pesha. The Torah says for every matter of deposit. The Torah says I'll call dvar pesha. And for every matter of trespass. Shama says from this pasuk, it says for every dvar pesha. That literally means that one is chayav to pay for a thought of misappropriating just as an action. No, we don't buy after machshava. You only can make a person chayav if he actually does it, not about his machshava. So he says, the pasuk says, "I'll call dvar pesha." The Torah says on whether he has misappropriated his neighbor's goods. The Torah says whether he has misappropriated his neighbor's goods.
it's a difference.
Right. If it's koyach or payal, right? Yeah, we had this a few weeks ago. So this took
so there could be they can kill it, but mamish.
Same came matam leimer called dvar pesha. So why does the Torah say for every dvar pesha? Shiyocha in the elahu. I would have said that only one is chayav to pay if he is shulech yad. In other words, the pekadon himself. But if he said to his, let's say, how do we know that if he told a slave or a shliach to misappropriate the pekadon, from where do we know that he's chayav to pay for these actions? That's what it says, I'll call dvar pesha for every manner of pesha, which is learned that one's speech makes him chayav to pay for for misappropriating it. Now, the Mishnah says, hitas achavis, if he tilted the deposit barrel, he's chayav to pay only for the wine that he took. Omar Rabba says, Leishana Elish Nishbura. Chum Tadas Alacha, only if the barrel actually broke. But if the wine of the barrel, let's say fermented, it became vinegar and it spoiled, then Mishal Maskula, he used to pay for the entire barrel. My time, what's the reason? Because he's chayav, because it was his arrows, in other words, his actions that were effective in spoiling the wine. Although he took only a quarter lug, the wine became fermented and turned into liquid, into vinegar as a result of opening this cask. If one lifted the barrel, took from it a quarter leg of wine, so he has to pay the value of the entire barrel. When you say taking, doesn't actually mean he took the wine from the barrel. Like even should be a little, once he lifted it in order to take the wine from it, although he did not yet take the wine from it, if it breaks, he's chayav to pay. Does it come out from Shmuel that he holds that Shus HaSiyah does not require a loss? Amri, the Chum say, no. You can't say that. Here it's different, since it's preferable for the shemer that all the wine in the barrel will serve as a base for the kordola. Now, although his kavanah was to take a small amount of wine, since that small amount is better preserved within the full barrel of wine, it's as though he took the entire barrel. Rashi says, dinner. Now, if one lifts a purse in order to take from it a single dinner, what's the halacha? Is it only with regards to wine, which is preserved only by means of the wine in the barrel? That if one intends to take, let's say, a quarter of a loig of wine, so it's as though he intended to take the entire barrel of wine. But with regards to the dinner, which is preserved even alone. So just because a person has kavanah to take one dinner does not indicate that he wants to take all the coins in the purse. What do we say? Or do we say no? That safeguarding a purse is different than safeguarding a dinner. A single coin is easily lost, whereas a purse is not, and it's an easy safeguarding. Therefore, when the shemer intends to take one dinner, he really intends to take all the coins in the purse. So then where it says, Teiku, we don't know. Okay, fine. Hadan Allah,